yes for anyone that can't get on. Okay, we are recording. And then, so Amber Valencia here with Prove It. We decided at Prove It, or at Hacking Better, to kind of combine teams. So I'm really excited for us to have kind of our first huddle and be able to share energy. I know that we're all like little smaller teams that are kind of looking for the energy of one another. So I'm really glad that we can all come together and share energy. And with that being said, if you're able to have your screen or your camera on, it really helps with the energy for those of us that are going to share. You know, when we're talking to a bunch of black screens or not getting feedback from you guys, it makes it kind of hard. So we're all on the same team when we look at the larger team, but those of us that just got back from Hacking Better really wanted to just be able to pour our energy into all of you guys and our teams while we still have like that real pure energy, because you know how life happens. Sometimes it fizzles a little bit, or we don't convey it right away. If we don't convey it right away, it's just not as powerful. So what we're going to do is a few of us that attended the event, we're going to just share our biggest takeaways and also kind of give you guys a little bit of an idea of what's in the pipeline for some really, really business altering things that came out to us while we were at Hacking Better. So we have some really important company announcements. What I like to do for every call for our team is to really touch in on and be mindful of the 3 pillars of belief. So we usually start every call talking about that. For those of you that don't know, our company is really big on the 3 pillars of belief. So we can have the desire to have this huge business and be doing all the business activity and doing every DMO, but if we are struggling in any one of the 3 pillars of belief, we're going to be not seeing the kind of outcomes that we would want to see. So those 3 pillars of belief are, I don't know if you guys can see, belief in self, belief in Prove It, and belief in the industry. And so it's always, I'm just going to briefly go through those, but I want you to ruminate on those things and reach up, reach across, reach out to someone if you're feeling shaky in any of those areas. So belief in self, that's one that we all struggle with. Every single human being struggles with their belief in self. You know, if you're thinking, well, that's great for so-and-so, but really in the back of your head, you're thinking you've missed the boat, or you got in too late, or you just don't have what it takes, it's going to be manifested in what you're getting back, what you're putting out there especially. So, you know, we do personal development and again, like reaching out. And I would really caution all of us from playing the comparison game with any of us on the team or even social media. I think that's can really impact our belief in self. Belief and Prove It, right? So really thinking about, I like to call this the belief in product, and I like to know, and I don't know about you guys, but my belief in the product is always way up here, right? So we are really fortunate that we sell freaking pure therapeutic ketones that are the only ones that are patented and they're bioidentical. So that is insane. Like I always kind of say this, and no, not knocking any other business, but it would be hard to be so passionate about selling like lipstick when we have something that is like life altering and the technology is out of this world, and we'll touch on that a little bit. So belief in the product, like if you're, and you know, every once in a while we get that rare oddball that tries ketones and like, this stuff doesn't work. Well, let me tell you, ketones work 100%. They did something wrong, or they didn't give it enough time, or they had unrealistic expectations. So again, those of us that went to Hacking Better, we got pages and pages and pages of science and research and findings on what our ketones are doing. Our ketones, right? Our patented ketones. It's not to go out and share that and be all sciencey. It's our, like they talked about it, like our armor. Like once you know, your belief in self and your belief in your product and the company is way up here. So we're going to try to give you guys, we're going to try to pour some of that into you guys, and just know the next event is going to be January 30th to February first or second, and that's going to be Epic. And there will be little pieces of that science, the ketone conversation, the Keto Academy in that event. So I want you guys to be thinking forward to how you can get there to arm yourself with the knowledge and that belief in the product. Number 3, belief in the industry. Network marketing, community-based marketing, whatever it is, if you have in your head, yeah, I'm doing this, but in your head you're like, is this going to be just another thing that I do that's going to end up, XYZ? It's really good to confront those thoughts. We all have them, but being aware of them, because when they're in your mind and then you kind of let them grow, they can really impact your daily activities, your thought process. And remember, thoughts have power. And so we like to always check in on those 3 pillars of belief. It's a larger call, but I challenge each of you to jot down a little note, a little homework, or a call to action is to reach out to someone that in your team, your sponsor, your mentor, your friend, and let them know how you're doing in those 3 areas, and say it if you're struggling, and we can plug you into an area that can help you. So I'll go first. I'm going to be real quick. We want to be mindful of everyone's time tonight. My biggest takeaway from this event, and I'm going to sound like a broken record, I just went live on this today too, is that this conversation has shifted. When I went to my first Prove It event 2.5 years ago, they were talking about the research and findings of ketosis and the ketogenic diet. And I was like, I even got up in front of all the people at one of the first events and I was like, where's the research on our ketones? And they're like, well, it's coming, it takes time. And I was like, I know I feel good, I know all my customers feel good. So we had to go on anecdotal data, right? And that was always just one of my, I had belief in the product, but it was always like, when's the like, what's the catch here? What's going on with these ketones? So at Hacking Better, the first day was Dr. Andrea Campitelli, Dr. Egan, Dr. Ford, Dr. Newport, this cute little dorky lady from Harvard. She was so cute and she was so knowledgeable. Dr. Poff, and then Dr. Lowry and Wilson. And they just went into like research finding after research finding of the power of these exogenous ketones, and not only like using ketones with the ketogenic diet, but even just using ketones, which is going to lead into our 10-day drink ketones challenge, right? Because the challenge is basically just drink ketones and see what happens. So for me, just having that validation that like you guys, this is still such a baby conversation. To us, we feel like everyone and their mom knows about ketones and ketosis, and oh my gosh, everyone probably thinks we're annoying. We are still the early innovators, right? We're the early adopters. It has not even become mainstream yet, and it's going to continue to be more of a talked about topic, and ketones are going to continue. Like they're a therapeutic, almost like pharmaceutical thing that we have as a fun energy drink. So we don't talk about the therapy, like the medical, we don't talk about the medical research or anything like that. We still talk about, even though we know all these crazy life-changing things, we still talk about fat loss, energy, appetite, focus, sleep, right? We still focus on that fun, like, ooh, try this energy drink, but secretly we're chuckling because we're like, this is going to change your health and this is going to change your life. But we got to keep it fun and light and all of that. So I'm glad they touched on that. And they just, just the simplicity of it all, like attracting, connecting, enrolling people, attracting people to the conversation. I could go on and on. And I think that one of the most powerful like business hacks from Kendra was just to share emotion, right? That like the most shareable content on social media, I know most of us use Facebook for our businesses, the most shareable, the most connection that people have will not be a post about the science and the research. It'll be us sharing our emotions and sharing our heart. So if you're on this call and you're a promoter and you don't know your ketone story, Write that down as your take, like your to do, in addition to checking into your 3 pillars of belief. You gotta be in touch with your ketone story. If you need help writing it, we can help you write it. That's what's gonna draw and attract people to this conversation. Not the science, not the anything else. It's you and your emotion that you can call to people. And so, they encouraged us to go live, be more candid in our emotions. We're all guilty of putting on the highlight reel and not being real with our followers when life is life. So I know today, like, I don't like to go live anymore because my life is such a crazy, got a toddler and a 6-month-old. But I went live and it was fine because they were asleep in the car, which was wonderful. But I know Megan and Lauren, we both committed to going live and we've done it. And so I encourage all of you guys to just be real and go live and not have an agenda and not have a script and just be, impromptu live video. Cry if you have to, like whatever you do, just be real. So those were my takeaways. And again, just a thumbs up. Does everyone here have a ketone story? Or has it written out, or they can share it and they can pick it apart in different ways? Everybody? Okay. And then for those of you that are team leaders, I encourage you to really work on that. And that's something you can also work on with customers to help them get referrals, is say, hey, can I help you write your ketone story to share? And then they'll get ketone referrals too. So do you guys want me to call on someone, or does someone want to volunteer to share their biggest takeaway? And I guess just like what it's like to be at a live event and your aha moment, I guess. Does anyone want to volunteer? Nikki?
I'll go.
Thanks.
I got to carve pumpkin still. So to feed off of what you said about Facebook Lives, just do 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. So I just wanted to feed off the back of Amber. That was a tip, and I've used that in so many things. That's from Mel Robbins. She does a great little short video. It's called the 5-second rule. And anytime in life when you find you're going to melt down or anything like that, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and it changes and interrupts that thought, and you just do it. So if you're afraid to talk to a customer, the same thing, and you're second guessing what you're going to say, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, hit send. Because I do it all the time, and I sit there and I reread, and before I know it, it's a mess. So my biggest takeaway, and I posted about this last night, and I was going to go live today, but it's been a crazy day. I think it's still 7 a.m.
Do it. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Yes, and if you guys are into it, this is another thing. What fixed all my lives after years is, and it's posted, and I can send you the link. The 14-day challenge starts in November with Ray Higdon, which is awesome. It will break your fears of lives for the most part. My biggest takeaway is, I don't care what the skeptics say anymore. I don't care what they badmouth or talk crap or anything anymore. It really, as even Amber said it, I was given a bigger shield of armor this time, and I no longer care if they agree with what I do, because I know what we have and it's worth its weight in gold. And no matter what you're doing, you need ketones. And so I really could care less. The choice is up to them, what they choose to do with their life and what they choose to say or not believe. I don't care. I am not here to convince anybody any longer. I don't care. So that's what I walked away with. And just to be real, be you. People want to see you. They want to know who you are. Don't stand behind the product. Just be you. Also, another little thing is ask questions. I have a problem with just spilling everything instead of honing in on who that person is and asking the questions, even with our promoters, our customers, with everybody. Ask the questions. Why are you looking for this? If better could show up in your life anywhere, where would it be? Why are you improving? Why are you interested in what I'm doing? To ask questions more than just spill the beans and get to know what they're looking for. And I could go on and on and on. So I'm going to shut up and let other people share because I know they have stuff.
Super good. Yeah, I think that I took a note here, Nikki. It takes a weight off of you when you take that burden off of trying. I learned this from Sharon Johnson years ago. She's like, people can feel that, like when you're like, hoping, or like you're like, people can. It's not desperation. I guess sometimes it can be, but people can feel that when you let go of that. Like, hey, here's this great thing. Try it if you want. If you don't want, like, no big deal. I'm still gonna do good, and they're gonna come around too. So, Lauren, I see you right in the middle of my screen. Would you like to share?
Sure. Can you hear me okay? Yeah. Okay, cool. So my biggest takeaway was just really realizing how small I've been playing. Are you guys still there? Oh, did I lose you? You good? Okay. Just realizing how small I've been playing. And I guess that's because my belief in the product and the company and just the direction that we're going, I believe in it. It's just through the roof, my belief. And so it's just that my vision is becoming bigger than my ego, or, like I'm really starting to step out of my comfort zone. And after the event is just such an amazing time to do all the things that I wasn't doing before and like gaining some momentum. A couple of the hacks that I really liked at the conference when the trainers were up there. One thing Kendra said that you can do to like re-engage when you lose your why, whether that's you or like one of your promoters or teammates, is you ask yourself 3 questions, which is, why are you here? And prove it. How many people do you want to support in this business? So like, how big do you want to play? And at a minimum, how much money do you want to make? And just being transparent about that. And then when people get focused on their why again and what they really want, that it helps to re-engage. And that we all have those times where we become, kind of disengaged, and there's a natural ebb and flow to that, and that's kind of how growth happens. And so you always have to kind of accept where you're at and ask for help within your team. And yeah, I'm just really blown away. Some of the statistics that Dr. Ryan and Dr. Jacob were talking about, I think they said that by 2050, there's going to be 13 million people diagnosed with Alzheimer's. And that some of the research that's coming back is showing that people's brains actually start to not metabolize glucose. It starts to deteriorate after the age of 40. And so, I mean, there's so many trials going on with like the neurological side with people with TBIs and Parkinson's and Alzheimer's, and they're doing trials with our product, and that information is going to start coming back. And so it's just really inspiring. It's so much bigger than just like what Amber said, a fun energy drink. I think there's just really, really big things that are going to happen. And I don't know, just more excited than ever and taking more inspired action than I ever have in my business since I've been back. So that's pretty much it.
Real quick, Angie, are you okay with us going over that challenge at the end? Are you saying that you have to leave this call early, or you had to leave the event early? You're muted. I can't unmute her. Okay. You can type it in there, Angie, if you want.
There we go.
Oh, okay.
There we go. I don't know. Can you see me? Yes, I had to leave Sunday. I think I left like at 7 p.m. So I don't know anything about the challenge that I talked to Serene like at 1 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
Last night. So I don't know anything about the what they talked about with
the
teaming
challenge.
up with what the challenge is all about. So
Yeah, so let's do a little bit more share out with the on the like our takeaways, and just for those of the people that weren't at the event to get some of that, and then we'll tie up the where we're going and the company and the really exciting stuff. So does anyone else have a burning desire to share their takeaways? Shelby, hey, get that hand up there confidently. I know you got some good takeaways. Yeah.
So, my takeaways were definitely the armor, building that rhino skin, just because like you said, everybody knows what we have, but seeing the technology from where we were, from where we are now, that our product, it's said is actually better than the diet. Like, that was huge to me for people that can't take it, that are insulin resistant and stuff like that. So it just goes to show, like, even if they don't want to take it, it's going to work for them. So that was really cool. And, not to convince anybody to drink it, but to share the information. So that was huge because, like, normally I know for myself, I'm always trying to convince them, like, this is really good. You just try it. You need to try it, But instead just saying, hey, this is what we have, sticking up for our product, sticking up for our company in a polite, kind way, like, here's the information. If you want it, take it. If not, then that's up to you, So that was huge. I think another cool takeaway is after I got back, it really hit me was who was at our event this time. Like, normally it's like us just provers, but to have a coach from the Biggest Loser there and the second fastest man in the world at our event, wanting to know about our technology, wanting to know how we can improve them, that was mind-blowing to me. It was just like, wow, I can't believe how far we've come in 4 years that we're already, attracting these top big people that people look up to and do what they say, So for me, that was really, really huge. And I had my 16-year-old son with me, and his biggest takeaway, which I love that he shared with everyone, and he is such an introvert like me, so I was very proud of him to share. But it did hit me on how much our product can do, and I love that it's not considered a weight loss. That's just the byproduct of it. But he was like, wow, Mom, I didn't realize all the stuff that it does. So for me to be reminded of that, it's like, oh yeah, that's really cool.
Hey, Shelby, he won't get on and talk.
I did. I invited him. He's like, I have to go take a shower. And I'm like, we're on now. So I think he wanted to look good for all you ladies.
Okay. Well, we wouldn't
I'd love to hear his takeaway.
Yeah. I know he had too many to process when we talked to him Sunday. So that was really cool that you took him. There were a lot of kids there. That was really cool.
And another really cool thing that I did want to share too is, like, he's a very, like, negative person. That's just his personality, and we butt heads all the time because I'm not. I'm like, you guys know me. And so I was really surprised to see his dynamic coming in there. And by the end of the event, just standing up and clapping and, like, getting into it without me having to push him or anybody else having to push him. And so that was really exciting to see that our culture can build on people to come out of their shell and be who they want to be and not be afraid to, to just be happy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome that you could see that transformation there with him. Who else would like to share? Okay, I'm going to go ahead and share. Okay, Serene, there you go. There's always that awkward pause.
Alrighty. So definitely my armor, like, I love going to events and getting my armor built, but this one was especially impactful because I geek out with all the scientists and the presenters, and I just, like, take that all in, and especially all the research that's coming out with exogenous ketones. Like you mentioned, Amber, like, I noticed a huge difference in this event because more research is coming out specifically for our exogenous ketones, and, like, how it doesn't, have to be, you don't even have to do the keto diet. Yeah, so all the science stuff I just love, and it just, like, goes inside me, and I can just feel it. It just shifts every event. It just shifts. And I notice that people Like they see that and they're attracted. You get different messages, different people say different things just from that shift, that armor shift. So that was particularly impactful. Mindset, I loved how a lot of the speakers really focus on mindset, because that's like right up my alley, and just drew me back to how important it is and how important it is to go back to your why. What Kendra was saying, like if you ever lose your path, you can always come back. You can always start over again. So I love that. And then the heart, like speaking from your heart, emotions, that hack that Kendra had shared with us, that stood out the most to me. Because people are just, they're going to feel that. They're going to feel you. So yeah, more lives. And the team is growing. Like, look how many of us came. Like, that's huge. Yeah, so that was mind-blowing too, just having so many of us come together, and the connection, connecting with other team members, our upline, and our community in general. That's why I go to the events. I think that was about it. Those are my biggest takeaways. Yeah. Anybody want to go next? No. What about you, Megan?
Yeah, I was just gonna call Megan, actually.
I don't like sharing. My biggest takeaways was definitely, I don't know, I like to nerd out with the science, and I remember at my first couple events, I would go back and like vomit mouth onto everybody, everything that I had learned, and I learned that we don't do that anymore. So I really liked that. The breastfeeding stuff with the ketones and everything was always something interesting to me, because I'm still nursing my daughter. And then I noticed that there was a shift with Dr. Mary Newport, with her emphasizing the ketones and not just keto diet, and that we need to find a lifestyle that is sustainable for us. Because I know, like with my customers, a lot of the times they think they need to go strict keto, and I just tell them, you know, eliminate the processed foods and the sugars and add more water into their diet and healthy fats. And a lot of times people just get stuck in that, I got to do keto, I got to do keto, I got to do keto. So just finding that sustainability for them. They're going to reap the benefits of the ketones, even if they're not doing keto. And so I just feel like I need to go back and reiterate that. I got busy yesterday. I had the most productive power nap time I've ever had, like in the past year. And the girls slept for 3 hours. So I was really busy. I reached out to all previous customers and current customers. And current customers, I was like, well, are you interested in the 10-day challenge and the keto reboot? And I was getting a lot of, well, what's the 10-day challenge? So I've got a list going for that for November 4th. And so it was just a way to re-engage with people, and just talking about the new things coming out with customers. So, and then in terms of hacks, obviously like sharing and being real was something that Kendra said, doing more live videos. And then another thing that Jessie Lee mentioned was utilizing the Pulse app. I'm just now like understanding like to add my database into the Pulse app, and I can send messages that way with the video, and it'll give me follow-up reminders and everything. So I'm wanting to switch over to utilizing the Pulse app more and thanking customers when they place orders, checking in with them that way. And Jessie even said to reach out to them when you get win them back when they cancel their smart ship. So to just stay in touch with them more on a personal, relational level.
Awesome. And we could probably do that as a topic for a huddle next week. It's just like how to navigate your cloud, how to use your Prove It Pulse app to engage customers. But yeah, Megan, Lauren, and I both went into our customer pages, and literally I started and I haven't finished, but went through and reached out to everyone. And depending on where your last conversation was with them, like just following up, like, hey, I know you couldn't afford ketones, like we're having a sale, whatever that is. And we've had a very productive 2 days. So Megan just talked about like reaching out, are you interested in this 10-day challenge? So that might be a perfect segue. But Angie, I did want you to share with me just that you said something that really hit home with me, and that, you know, your moral obligation here. We heard that at the event, but I really like the way that you took that as your biggest takeaway, if you don't mind sharing that.
Yeah, I would love to share that. Can you hear me? I had a little bit of a lag time. Can you hear me okay? Okay, awesome. Sorry about the appearance, but this is real life right here. Moral obligation. So everybody knows here on this call, my team, our team of the being diagnosed with blood cancer. And I went to Keto Academy in May down in Orlando, and it was, I want to use the word solidified. Hold on, sorry. I want to use the word solidified in May when I was there, but each event, I cannot express how much more this moral obligation is the fact that it's so much more than, and what Shelby said, and I posted today on my Facebook page, just my regular private page, as far as choose a lifestyle that is sustainable for you, because ketones are so much more than a diet, and that I have a moral obligation to help those, because we have the patent on, we started the whole ketone conversation. And so I have a moral obligation to let people know that this is so much bigger than losing weight. And I haven't lost any more, for a year I haven't lost any more weight, because I don't need to. Yeah, would I like to for vain reasons? Absolutely. But my moral obligation is what like Shelby stated, the brain scans that, and the NFL, how we're teaming up with the NFL players who have had, traumatic brain injuries or concussions, and what happens when glucose is depleted from, how glucose depletes from our bodies, from our brains, but ketones do not. They regenerate themselves. And we can never claim to be doctors, but I have a moral obligation to be able to tell people that this is so much more than weight loss. This is full mind, body, spirit. So that is my moral obligation, to really just let people know that, I'm out of Prove It MCT 143, Dr. Mary Newport, her formula. I need to order it, but I have just the MCT oil that has been sitting in my cupboard that you can buy from Kroger. But today in my coffee, boom, MCT oil, boom, MCT oil with my second cup of coffee, because the medium chain triglycerides, what that does for our brains. So, there's just, and because my mom is suffering from, dementia and early onset, Alzheimer's. So it's just so much more than weight loss.
It is.
So
It is.
I just have so that's my moral obligation, is that, I have a passion to help people and to be able to help people. I mean, regardless if they have cancer, regardless if they have Alzheimer's, regardless if they are obese. I mean, just what an elevated level of ketones in our system, how that helps everyone. And Pruvit is the company that started the whole conversation.
Yeah.
So
Thank you for sharing, and thank you for getting personal with more than just your team.
Yeah.
I appreciate you sharing that. And so that, just real quick to just tie that up, like Angie said, like whether you have cancer or Alzheimer's or you're a mom or whatever, and that's why we don't even go there with the medical stuff, because no matter if you have cancer, Alzheimer's, diabetes, fatigue, like whatever you have, everyone can benefit from focus and mood, energy, appetite suppression, better sleep, and fat loss. Like, I don't care what kind of condition you have. And yes, there's some things going on at the cellular level. There's some things we can make the medical claims with the CMed 100 and the repairing and protecting DNA. We can make those medical claims. I wish we could make all the other medical claims, but we can't. But that's okay, because who can't use those 5 things? So here we go into our big 10-day drink ketones challenge. And please chime in, guys, because I, slept since the event, or not much. I haven't slept much since the event, but, mom brain. So we had some friends from a company called ViSalus. Some of you might have heard from it. They used to have high-end anti-aging supplements. They've been around forever. They morphed into Body by Vi. They had like a meal replacement thing. The CEOs, the owners of the company, were on stage and they got real vulnerable. They're like, we had this company and, we did not innovate for a decade. They hung on to the protein shake, right? Protein shakes, the red ocean market. There's a million different protein shakes. It's not innovative in any way. A protein shake is a protein shake. It's a protein. They just never innovated, but they did have a brilliant transformation infrastructure for helping people achieve transformation through accountability, through challenge groups. They even own the domain challenge.com. So they shared their heart about their company, and then Pruvit, BU shared, we took off. We've taken off really quickly. We've done things in the industry that no one else can replicate, especially when you look at our customer to promoter ratio. It's huge. We're not real big on mass recruiting promoters. We have customers. We have real customers. We're innovative. We have all these things. Yeah, we've seen we're exactly where we were last year at this time. So we haven't experienced the type of growth that we'd expect in a year's time, especially with our type of company. So we're lacking something here, and this company was lacking something here. And so what they've done is we are absorbing the company ViSalus or Body by Vi. We're not absorbing their protein shake. We're not absorbing their products. They're coming to us for our products, and we're accepting them with open arms because of their innovation and marketing with challenge.com and the challenge piece. So am I on the right track, those of you guys that were there too? Because I know that sometimes we all interpret things different, but that's how I took it. Because at first I was like, a lot of us came from a company that had a protein shake and challenge groups. So I was like, oh, no. But they said they're still going to fulfill their shake orders for their customers that are existing, but really, I don't think they're even going to produce any more of that product. They want our ketones. So you had like a third of the audience that was secretly not even promoters. They're with ViSalus, the other company, and they're all like fit pros. And like, I met some of them in line, very fit people and kind of more of the fitness type, maybe like what we all came from. And they stood up and they were just like, they said, how long have you guys been drinking ketones? Do you love them? And they were like, we came here for ketones. We don't want our protein shakes. So that was really cool. So they have the domain challenge.com. So here's what it means for right now. They are, yeah, the fitness part has been a missing link. And a lot of us with our past endeavors had a tool belt for helping people with nutrition and coaching and accountability and exercise and all that and plugging people into those pieces. But we were doing more than like the standard person that just joined. You know what I mean? We want anyone to be able to promote and to be able just to plug in and send them this. I mean, for those of us that have been promoting for a while and a lot of us on the call, like, we didn't even have like anything to give people back in the day, right? We still kind of have limited stuff. So it was really cool to know that we're addressing the missing link in giving people real transformation. So it's starting out, and I see this evolving and changing, but right now, the 10-day Drink Your Ketones Challenge, you're going to get 10 of the 5 mainstay flavors, right? Like Swiss, Maui, lime, those ones. You're going to get 10 caffeine and 10 caffeine free. So the challenge is for people to drink 2 ketones a day. And then they're also going to get a Mitoplex for the 10 days. So they're going to get 10 Mitoplex. With that will come like a code to unlock access to like a Facebook group in the beginning, and then also like a guide, a PDF guide, kind of how we get the guide for the reboot, or we got the guide for the Fall into Ketosis Challenge, the 10-day. So you're going to get, yeah, and the Mitoplex is for new customers. That's what they said. And no, I don't think we're going to have to run groups, Shelby, but that's all coming. So there's a lot of, it's like some of the best in the industry with like marketing and tech and funnels, and they're working on launching challenge.com on January 1st. So we're going to have a huge transformation challenge. So they addressed too, like, why not 90-day challenge? Because ViSalus was really insanely popular with the 90-day challenge. And they said they had a whole team for day 91, because day 91, everyone would fall off track and be horrible. We all kind of experienced that in our last endeavor too, like what would happen on day 22. We'd like, cycle through this. So when you think about it, and Kendra's done this with our DMO challenges, like, hey, let's do 5 days. Let's do 10 days. And see where people are after that. And so eventually, and with that guide, there's going to be some fitness pieces. So they're probably going to be like movement hacks, nutrition hacks, but really, and their hashtag was diet versus ketones, or diet versus drink ketones. So this is just for everyone to be able to, wherever they're at, and that's what we try with people, is like, wherever you're at, just drink a ketone and then see what happens. And for a lot of people, it opens the door to a very healthy keto-ish, processed carbohydrate-free, sugar-free lifestyle. Oh yeah, DMO is daily method of operations. I'm really sorry for not doing that. So yeah, so we have this amazing challenge group kit, or challenge pack, they called it, and it's $99. So you get 20 ketones and a box of Mitoplex for your new customers for $99. And I don't know about you guys, but I have so many customers that want a variety box. There's their variety box too. So it's not just for new people. I mean, this can be for everyone. And it's really cool because they can have the charge, like Megan said, in the morning, and then the caffeine free for the afternoon. And really, it's whoever just talked about, Angie just said, like, mind, body, everything. Like, you're gonna be a better person if you drink 2 ketones a day. So yeah, super exciting. Like, this is just the beginning. Like, this is the pioneer phase. They're just beta testing it. So we're gonna really, they want all of us to just work on getting the people who would be interested for the November, for the November 4th group. And then all of us work on those transformation stories, our own transformations if we need them. And then really gearing up for the big one. And just know, like, with anything new, we're gonna figure it out as we go. They talked about the challenge pack kit being available November 4th at midnight. So for those of you guys that remember the days where we'd get the new products at midnight, we'd have to stay up late and like refresh. Is it ready? So this is really exciting. And so right now, just really be getting the word out there. Like, we have something new and innovative. We are addressing a missing link. Mommy? And it's kind of hard for those of us that want all the details right now. We don't have all the details right now, but you can just assure people, like, if they'll give you 10 days, you'll give them an experience. Callie, her babysitter. You'll give them an experience that's going to be really transformational for them. So did I miss anything with that? Or does anyone have questions about that?
So Amber, do you know, I'm taking it, the challenge and everything like that, we're running this beta, but we're going to have more in January. So for this one, are we going to need to do our own group? Or are they going to have somewhere, because like the Fall into Ketosis was kind of, and then we created our own group, you know what I mean, to plug them into. Do we know that?
No, I didn't. I mean, all I remember was they flashed that picture, and I know people were taking pictures of that, and we weren't supposed to. They had to like start asking people to delete pictures, and it showed like the ketones, the mitoplex. Good night, sweetheart. And then it had a picture of like a group and a Facebook emblem, and then it had like access to. So I think they would kind of like the reboot group, but that's a good question that we could probably convey to higher up about, will there be a group?
Because we've already been talked, so we have a backup plan if there's not. We have a group.
I was going to say, because all of us have such amazing skills that we could easily create a group and have whatever their guide is and cut and paste day by day whatever their guide is, and even add our own flip.
Okay.
I think that all of us have really good gifts in this whole transformation arena. But I think like we're not going to be as, because for those of us that used to do our old challenge groups, those were very involved. So I'm excited. Like, guys, this is going to really be, I mean, think about how successful accountability or challenges are, like with the protein shakes or the, I know Advocare has challenges. All these other companies have challenges. Nobody else has ketones. So we're marrying the two really powerful things, ketones and a challenge, and boom, like people are going to be getting insane results. So it's super exciting.
And do you know, because the electrolytes free are only for new customers. So I'm assuming if I go purchase, it will not come with the electrolytes, which is fine. But are they going to put a limit? Have you heard anything on, can I go in there? Does that make sense what I'm saying? Do you know?
I wonder with the reboot, or I'm sorry, like the last prototype, if there's going to be upgrading options. Like for customers who did the 10-day prototype for this past month, how they had the option to upgrade for a discount for the seasonal flavors. I wonder if that's going to be an option for existing customers. There's going to be some sort of incentive to upgrade.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. I don't have answers for that, but I see what you're saying. Like if you wanted to get some 10-day kits, just because we all want to, people wait until the last minute and miss deadlines, and then they come to you the next day wanting them. So it'll be interesting, but I mean, I'm sure you'll be able to tell what you're getting, or reach out like on the day of the sale, and we'll be able to figure out to make sure you're getting what you need, and just really like highlight the urgency. Like, this is gonna sell out. You have to buy yours as soon as you wake up that morning, or whatever, however you want people to be able to do it. And yeah, they were calling it 10-day drink ketones challenge. The 10-day drink ketones challenge. This will be available November 4th. But just think, like, if you have people already and then say it sells out or whatever, or people don't get in, you guys have 10-day packs. Like, you can easily, I think that the way that we all get our stock, or if you need to get stock from someone, you can easily sell 20 ketones for $99 with the Mitoplex, especially because, I mean, I think my last batch of ketones I paid like $4 a pack for. And if you need help being able to do that, if you don't have a lot, but I mean, there are so many solutions. And then, you know, the ViSalus people are like, you guys are probably saying, well, what about our 10 days and our 5 days and all that? And it's like, if someone doesn't want to do the 10-day drink your ketone challenge, we can say, well, great, well, I have a 5-day that's $30 or $50, right? You can do a 5-day with 10 ketones, 2 ketones a day, and get them set up. I'm even personally telling people that are already ready for it, well, it's not available November 4th, but we can get you a reboot today, and you can get your reboot and get started with the reboot and then transition into the 10-day drink your ketone challenge. So, you know, just be creative. I know that we're like tied by deadlines and what's this and how does this all play in, but this is like a really exciting time. And I was in line with some of the ViSalus people for the event, and they were talking about how, like, back in 2010, before they launched their 90-day challenge, and they were like, this is going to be a repeat of that. And that was insanely successful for their company for many, many years. And now we have ketones to go along with whatever their challenge is. I don't even know what their challenge is, but I hear it's amazing. And they have like a really amazing system for the transformation. Do I suggest a reboot before trying ketones? I suggest reboots for everybody. So, or sometimes I'll suggest trying ketones before a reboot. I am always surprised how people I would think would be like, oh my gosh, like going from no ketones to doing a reboot. But even people that have never tried ketones have really good success with the reboot too. Does that answer your question, Angie? Serene agrees. Yeah. But I mean, I always just look at it as like a timeline thing. If they want that challenge now, I can say, well, get the reboot. And this is an existing customer too, or like someone that fell off and is ready to get back on track. But yeah, it's a very exciting time. And I think I got all the questions here. And again, like, this is going to take that, our AQ, because whenever you're involved in a launch of something, there are a lot of unanswered questions, like, how is this going to work? What are we doing? And just roll with it. Just have fun, and your customers will pick up on your excitement and your fun and be like, you know what? I mean, with the 10-day fall into ketosis challenge, I was like, I don't know. Let's see. And, you know, and people are like, oh, okay, cool. I'm just going to do it. Or how come there's this? It's like, I don't know, you know, whatever. You know, lead with excitement, and we will get through all of the like nitty gritty of what and who and why and how and groups and all that. That'll all work out. And I know for some of us, that's a really hard thing. But I think it's kind of the fun of it. Like, I'm remembering when we came out with the max ketones, when we used to just have the other ketones, and it was like such an exciting thing, and everybody was waiting, and we would break the internet. So I anticipate all of this coming. And I don't know how those promoters are joining or being absorbed, or how any of that works, but it'll be interesting to see where this all leads to. And just the future of our company. And I really am thankful that our leaders are willing to innovate and take a risk, because, you know, standing up there on that stage, you know, they were having to share, you know, each side, ViSalus and Pruvit, was having to be vulnerable in their story, but they were willing to innovate and change and make a decision for the well-being of all of us and all of our dreams in this company, to make it kind of over this hump, like, you know, get over a hump. So it's going to be an amazing, amazing year. And for those of us that have been in this business, we know that summer months are slow, and then now we're on the uphill. We're on the, you know, we're getting up there to launch and rocket off in January 1st for everybody's New Year's resolutions, right? We want to help people finally be able to make a transformation that sticks. So with that being said, anybody else need to share anything on their heart? Any questions about that? I'm pumped. Okay, so moving forward, I did want to share a little bit and invite you guys. We will we'll try to do a team huddle next week. We'll find a time. Maybe we'll have leaders send out a little bit of a what works, what kind of timeline works for people. And then I also do, we also do for our team, we do Keto Life calls. And that's where we invite existing customers, potential customers, and we do a 10 to 15 minute call on really crash course ketosis, ketones, how to optimize your experience. So we talk about how, ketones work with whatever type of eating. You just have to be sensible. Talk about hydration, and then we show people how to set up their referrer code to get we talk about SmartShip discount, and then we show them how to set it up for free product. And then we kind of end the call and say, this isn't about promoting. We don't want to talk about promoting, and then, but if anybody has questions about promoting, they're welcome to stay on that call. And sometimes people stay on and sometimes they don't. So we will work on getting you guys a link for that. And it's one of those things, like, not everyone can always get on. It's kind of like sometimes it has to be a flash or a replay, but really trying to just engage our customers. And I know that some of you guys, I'm in one of your ketone groups, and you guys do a really good job of doing that kind of stuff. But I'm excited for us to just work together and collaborate and feed off of each other's energy. And my upline is Jody and Kendra. So Jody is my sponsor, and Kendra is her direct upline. So that's my upline there. Yeah, of course, I'm excited. I love all of you girls, and I'm excited for the future. And let's go. Let's do this. All right. Yay! I'll send the recording so you guys can share with your teams. Good night. Oh yeah. Ketone story, 3 pillars of belief, and alive this week, okay? All right. Bye.